Today I am announcing a partial reopening of outdoor recreation.
Governor Jay Inslee is relaxing some restrictions across the state tonight when you can go fishing and visit state parks.
So I have no idea. I might not get my first check until June. Who knows?
Plus, more than 100,000 people have filed for unemployment in Idaho, but not everyone is seeing their benefits. And the hit musical is coming to Spokane. We'll let you know when Hamilton will be on the big stage and how you can get your tickets. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Whitney Ward. Mark is off tonight. The return of outdoor activities is officially on the way in Washington. Governor Jay Inslee announced today his plan for a partial reopening of state lands. So let's look at the kind of three key takeaways. First, the partial reopening will start on May 5th. Second, you can take part in certain outdoor activities like fishing or golfing. Third, some state parks will open, others will not, though. KREM 2's Brandon Jones talked to a business owner who's now been waiting for this announcement.
Well, I think the fishermen are chomping at the bit because the phone's been ringing 5 or 6 times a day.
Bill Gamble and his son are the owners of a bait and tackle shop in Spokane, and they've been patiently waiting on this announcement from the governor. In his press conference, Governor Inslee announced that the day use of state parks, day use of hunting, day use of fishing, and golfing activities are all allowed in Washington beginning May 5th.
Now we do know that all of these activities do need to be done with appropriate social distancing, as well as protocols for safety and security of everyone enjoying the outdoors.
These activities have been banned statewide since March 25th.
I do want to emphasize that this is a decision we make today, but if this virus were to spring back, we might have to roll back some of these measures again.
As restrictions are eased, the governor says it's vital to be disciplined as you begin to venture out. That means still remaining 6 feet from each other and wearing a mask if you're unable to distance.
It's a trickle-down effect for everybody.
Fishing is one of those outdoor activities that'll make its return on May 5th. While Gamble's shop has been closed, the owners would come in frequently to sanitize and clean down their gear. Now they're ready to open the doors next week.
We've taken all the precautions that we can to make sure that our customers are safe when they do come back. So hopefully they'll feel at ease when they do come.
From Spokane, Brandon Jones, KREM 2 News.
Also new tonight, Colorado and Nevada are now joining the Western States Pact along with Washington, Oregon, and California. The states will all be working together to reopen state economies in an effort to also minimize the spread of the coronavirus. The states will focus on making sure the vulnerable populations are protected. They also want to ensure that each state has enough supplies to treat coronavirus patients. The goal is to protect the public through testing, tracking, and isolating the virus. Over a month into Idaho's stay-at-home order, the state's unemployment system appears to still be overwhelmed. Since the coronavirus was declared an official emergency, over 100,000 people in Idaho have filed for unemployment. And tonight we are hearing from some of them in North Idaho who tell us they are still waiting to get benefits. Taylor Vito has more on that.
So how exactly has Idaho's unemployment system been working right now for those who need it most? Well, to answer that question in part, I reached out to a state spokesperson, but when I tried calling, this is what I got. I think it's safe to assume I'm not the only one.
One day I was on hold on the phone for 59 minutes.
That's the voice of Ron Tarwater. He works security for a nationwide company at their Coeur d'Alene location. Tarwater says he's on a leave of absence from work because he's at high risk of contracting coronavirus. But his attempts to get unemployment from the state have gone nowhere, he says.
They've told me they have no clue how long it will take.
Tarwater says he still has a job to go back to when this is all said and done. But he says that state unemployment staff told him his jobless claim has to be audited and he won't see any money until someone from the state follows up with him.
Because I have a doctor's note from my doctor saying I'm at high risk. So I've sent that to them. They've said that they have it, but my case hasn't been assigned to anybody and they'll get to me when they can.
For now, it's not clear what the turnaround could be. When I tried reaching out to the state, the number for the Idaho Department of Labor wouldn't connect this morning. 2 emails I'd previously sent to a department spokesperson regarding an unrelated story haven't been returned either. So what is state data showing? A couple of weeks ago, the state was still handling over 67,000 continued claims from people who are still unable to return to work. For some context, the state says that's 12 times more than the weekly average for all of last year. Just last Friday, Idaho Labor announced that it had started handing out the extra $600 weekly payments to claimants as provided by the federal government. Back in Kootenai County, Tarwater says he has yet to see a dime of any of that.
I can say that when I do get a hold of unemployment, the people are real nice and polite. It's just very hard to get a hold of them.
He and his wife are pinching pennies and have relied heavily on the one-time $1,200 stimulus payment from the feds. The situation has left Tarwater frustrated, and he has no clue when it could improve.
So have no idea. I might not get my first check until June. Who knows?
Taylor Vito, KREM 2 News.
And several states are also working to reopen this week. That is despite warnings from some health experts. At least 12 states there are now easing restrictions on non-essential businesses. In Georgia, some businesses are now open to all customers after a controversial decision by that state's governor. In California, tens of thousands of people crowded the beaches over the weekend, even though the stay-at-home order is still in place there. There are signs that social distancing is helping to flatten the curve, but numbers continue to rise. There are now more than 970,000 confirmed cases just here in the U.S. The death toll now over 55,000 people. And stay-at-home orders across Washington and Idaho are still in effect, at least through the rest of April. The current stay-at-home order in Washington runs through at least May 4th. But just last week, Governor Jay Inslee said most restrictions will not be lifted anytime soon. He also offered a few exceptions, including regulated construction and elective surgeries. In Idaho, the stay-at-home order is effective through April 30th. Governor Brad Little has laid out a 4-step plan for reopening. And as early as May 1st, churches and retail stores could open with some restrictions. And by the end of May, restaurants, salons, and gyms could also reopen. Then in early June, large gatherings would start to be allowed. And by mid-June, bars and large venues might also be able to reopen. And work from home requirements could be lifted, again, barring any changes. Well, many people, students and families lining up tonight in the Deer Park High School parking lot. That is where teachers and staff are working hard to hand out school packets and food vouchers for kids. It is a massive undertaking by 2 elementary schools in Deer Park. The principal there says they just want to help support the families and make sure they can connect with as many students as possible right now. KREM 2's Laura Papetti is actually live at that event right now. And Laura, we've talked about this earlier in the 4 o'clock hour, but this is a much bigger undertaking than just handing out that homework packet, right?
Oh my gosh, Whitney. It has been so much energy, so much yelling and smiling and cheering, and so much emotion here over the last about 45 minutes as people just pour through in lines coming up in their cars here at Deer Park High School. Again, it's actually not for high school students. It's for the 2 elementary schools here in Deer Park, Arcadia Elementary and Deer Park Elementary, serving over 900 kids. And that's what they came prepared for. And you can see the folks right behind me, some of them, they're in masks, they're carrying signs. And as the people pull up, they hand out a homework packet and also a $10 gift card to McDonald's. And what I was told today was it's about so much more than giving out the paperwork, though that's so important. This is 2 weeks worth of direction for kids. And it's so much more than just the food voucher, though 60% of the kids are on free and reduced lunch, so also very, very important. But they said it's more about doing a welfare check on many of the kids. When it first started the stay-at-home order, they had about 20-25% engagement. That's up to, they said, more like 70-75% now. So they said huge effort from teachers and counselors and staff to connect with kids, whether it was through mail or through, I mean, they're talking about postcards, phone calls, whatever way they could get a hold of folks. So they've seen real growth and connection, but they said it's not enough. They wanted to put their eyes on the faces of the kids. And so as they're pulling up, they're just the teachers are screaming, I missed you, and the kids are like, I love you, and I missed you, and I'm so happy to see you. So it's been really good for both the educators and for the families to be able to see each other, but yet still try to keep that distance. So coming up a little later on in the 5 o'clock, we'll talk about what else is going on here and how they paid for all of this. $910 gift cards they're planning to give out to McDonald's. And so we'll talk more about that coming up just a little later on in the show. Whitney?
All right, Laura, thank you very much. Just an incredible effort by a lot of really dedicated people. Thank you. All right, before we go any further, we want to take a quick look at this. A dust storm out on the Palouse today. This is Highway 26 near Dusty, Washington, aptly named. That's just west of Colfax. And it was obviously, you can see, near zero visibility because of the blowing dust and the high winds. So Tom Sherry is standing by now. And Tom, it just seems like we had the perfect combination of weather conditions, the loose soil out on the farmland, the winds to kind of create this perfect dust storm, right?
Yeah, 40 to 45 mile an hour winds throughout the early evening hours across areas of eastern Washington, including the Spokane area. And of course, that picture that we saw right there, the State Patrol has closed Highway 26 about 3 miles west of Dusty. The poor visibility from all the blowing dust caused an accident between a semi and a car. And of course, that caused the major problems. They don't know when it's going to get reopened. We do have reports that the dust is now beginning to settle, so visibility is getting better. So it's just a matter of now just trying to get the highway cleared. So keeping an eye on that. Take a look at this. You can see the Spokane has 29 mile an hour winds. These are average wind speeds now across the area. 29 mile an hour winds here in Spokane, 18 mile an hour winds down towards Pullman, 19 in Ritzville. But keep in mind, we could see gusts up to 45 miles per hour. These are only average wind speeds, not factoring in the wind gusts. Wenatchee with wind speeds, as you can see, at 29 miles per hour. Moses Lake at 17. We've also got some stormy weather to the east of us, especially in northern Idaho. That's a look at the satellite and radar picture. The green indicates the rain. You can see where we're even seeing some isolated thunderstorms, mostly now in the mountains of north central Idaho, just before you get into southwestern Montana. So we're not seeing a whole lot of activity here locally. I'll zoom in closer. You got a few isolated showers, maybe down towards the Rockford area, maybe up around Micah Peak. So you can kind of see them there. And we'll look for that to decrease as soon as the sun sets tonight. And then the cloud cover will clear out. We'll look for an overnight low of 39, 67 the expected high on Tuesday. I've got temperatures in the mid-70s on Wednesday. For the weekend, we've got more rain on tap. 50% chance of rain both Saturday and Sunday. Pretty comfortable temperatures, though. Could be thunderstorms on Saturday with a high of 69. We'll see 62 on your Sunday. Whitney, I'll check out your 7-day forecast coming up in just about 10 minutes.
Sounds good. And I was noticing today is if you even look from here, you can start to see everything is really starting to green up. So that's kind of the silver lining of all these April showers, right?
Yep, they're going to bring us plenty of May flowers.
Looking forward to it, Tom. Thanks very much. All right, here's something to look forward to. Hamilton is making its way to Spokane. Look at that. The critically acclaimed musical will make its debut here starting on April 13th of 2021. So you have a whole year to get ready. The show will run through May 9th. Season ticket subscribers and groups of 10 or more can buy their tickets now. That's before the single tickets will go on sale to the general public. The show's music and lyrics were all written by, of course, Lin-Manuel Miranda. It is about the life of Alexander Hamilton. And since its debut in 2015, that musical has won 11 Tonys. It also won the 2016 Pulitzer Prize for drama. So for a link to purchase group tickets, all you have to do right now is go to our website, KREM.com. All right, we quickly want to give a big shout out to all the seniors out there. This has been just amazing, incredible, and unprecedented senior year for a lot of people. A lot of different challenges caused by this pandemic. So we just want to give a shout out to a couple of the great seniors that we know about. Tori John is one of them. She's a senior at Medical Lake High School. Tori says she's sad about missing her senior year, understandable, but she remains positive by helping at her family business and by doing her studies online. We love giving shout outs to our spectacular seniors, so please keep these photos coming and let us know about the great seniors in your life. Text 2020 to 509-448-2000 and we'll send you a link on how you can submit your story. We'll be right back.